What's up, guys? Coach John Lucas here. Today I'm going to show you everything that I take when I fly somewhere to do a live stream for sporting events.
Alright, so first up on floor will be Andrew Bittner, Jr. From the great state of Georgia. Brody's got one of the highest starts in the NCAA on horse, so he's looking to stay on with some good execution, and he should score very well. He takes the dismount. Great routine.
The piece of equipment that I use, I'm not being paid to say this or anything, is Sling Studio. And the Sling Studio has worked really well for my needs, as it is a way of wirelessly connecting 4 different cameras, switching between them, and then uploading live to YouTube or Facebook or an RTMP site. Let's get into it. Alright, so this is the bag I have. It's made by US Gear. We'll start on the outside of it. This is the tripod that I like to take, strapped to the bag when I'm traveling. Into this main compartment. Got all my cameras and this thing. This is the Sling Studio hub. To use one of these DSLRs, like this Sony a6400, which is my main shooting camera, to use this, you have to plug in to the HDMI port with a camera link. And so that's what makes this camera talk to this hub. So the hub will talk to this, and this will get the video feed from the Sony. I also have Panasonic Lumix FZ300. This is just a point and shoot camera that's made by Panasonic. And I really like it mostly because I picked up 2 of them. They're about $400 each. 25 to 600 millimeters with an f2.8 aperture, power zoom, so I can power zoom from the side or I can power zoom from here. And the battery life is exceptional. It's got a flip LCD, records in 4K, records in 1080, 60. I really like this camera for the price. For $400, 25 to 600 millimeters, f2.8. Biggest drawback is autofocus, but usually I pop it over into manual focus and put this in a position that it's not going to have to follow a subject. And I use the excellent autofocus on my 6400 for moving subjects. I also have another lens. It's a Sigma 16mm f1.4. Really like this lens. It's pretty wide on the APS-C crop body. Pretty good image quality. Very happy with it in low light as well. Got 2 other camera links, and that is so those cameras can talk to the hub. And then I also will hook up a 4th camera. I really like how much I've been able to fit into this bag, but here on the side pocket I just have an old iPhone. It's the SE, and I'll just use that to grab a 4th angle if I need. The next part of the bag, I've got extra batteries for everything, lens cleaners, ND filters, just cheap variable ND filters, and extra batteries. We've got this little pocket here which I'll keep all my memory cards, any other memory devices. I've got a few more sections in this bag. That's my rainfly. It just stays parked in there. In here I'll keep my laptop, which is just the 2015 16-inch by Apple. Pretty good laptop. I've not had any issues with it. And then I'll also keep in that pocket an iPad Pro, which is my preferred way of using the Sling Studio. This is an expander for the Sling Studio. Very useful to be able to add extra media and to be able to record to something like this Samsung T5 1TB hard drive. Got the power bank of the unit that I can store up there in this extra pocket, as well as a bunch of other stuff, which I'll unpack in just a moment. Yeah, the last thing that I have in here is I carry an iPhone charger, which I'll use with my power bank. I also have the power bank rigged up with Velcro, which I'll get into later. Velcro, having Velcro straps, I carry these everywhere. Like I said, I'll fly with this thing. This goes in the seat back in front of me. Everything else goes up in the overhead, which I have this whole entire other bag. I just have a soft duffel at the moment, but that's what I'm working with. So let's take a look inside of here. So this bag, it's got a lot of gear in it. So these are my headphones, a couple rolls of gaff tape, extension cord, power strip, Ethernet cable so I can hook it up to the internet, some audio cables that I use with my announcer headphones, a light. This is my audio bag, and it allows me to carry everything I need. I've got TRRS cables. I've got more TRRS cables. These ones take a TRRS signal and they convert it out into the individual components of headphone and microphone. So I can take something that is meant to plug into a phone and plug it into a more professional system. All sorts of adapters. These are great if you're using like my Rode Video Micros. This thing will work with my soundboard. This Behringer sound mixer is great. I love that it fits in this tiny bag and it's super portable that way. I have a cable that I use from the output to hook it up to the Sling Studio to get audio from here. Got an HDMI splitter just in case, and a backup cable to carry audio into the Sling Studio. And that is pretty much everything. I've got an extra HDMI cable, USB-C cable, a power plug for the HDMI splitter, and then different microphone holders, lav mic, just different little adapters, converting things to 1/4 inch. We've got the Audio Technica announcer headsets. That's what will go with those cables. Boom. And I've got 2 of these so that when we're capturing live sports, we can have live commentary. Another pocket, accessory microphone cables, and an extra microphone. Handheld, just in case something fails, we've got a backup. Okay, the last pocket on here is all my power supply stuff. So I've got a 6-port charger, all the different chargers that I need for my cameras, extra power banks, iPhone chargers, and cables. The only thing that's still in here are my other 3 tripods that I got from Goodwill. Carry a total of 4 tripods with me when I travel. And that's so I can hook every camera up to a tripod, or I can throw the Sling Studio up on a tripod if I need to. Alright, so the last thing that I want to show you guys is the studio all set up. So usually I'm wearing these to monitor the audio that's coming out of my iPad. So right here is the Sling Studio hub, and this will send a Wi-Fi signal out to a range of around 300 feet, and then it will connect to these camera links, which are then connected to the cameras. As you can see, this is my A6400, and I've got it rigged up with a battery on the side, which is powering the camera. I've got a top handle because that's how I like to carry it around, and then I've got a microphone. This Sling Studio camera link is talking to this hub and sending the signal down here to my iPad, which is pretty cool. And then I've also have the USB-C expander, which is plugged in to the hub through USB-C, and it expands to 2 USB 3 ports plus Ethernet for the internet, and I've got that connected to my Samsung T5 drive. I also have an HDMI in port, which I'm not showing on the iPad right now, but if I open this laptop up, pull the HDMI in, and then you'll see something that's up on a laptop. So now you can see from the HDMI in, I have the laptop, and I can easily take that off by removing the source and by adding a source, putting the iPhone back in. anyway, I'm not going to get into how the system works. I'm just going to show you an overview of the gear that I'm using. So sometimes I will use a computer, whether it's a Mac or PC, and I'll use it from an HDMI out to the HDMI input.
Blake knows what he needs to do after seeing those floor competitors, and he's doing a great job. Beautiful giant. And there's the Suarez. This dismount can make a big difference. And he sticks it.
And then this is my soundboard, which has 2 microphones hooked up. And I'll explain how that works. But this main output from this little tiny soundboard runs over to the line in. And the line in is connected here, and you can monitor that audio by clicking down the audio mixer. The line in audio, I run extensions out to this point where I have a 4 headphone mixer. So I have the line input in this red cord coming straight out of the headphone out, and then connected here and here I have these 2 headsets, which I will set up with announcers so that announcers can wear them and give commentary. Their volume can be controlled independently through these knobs, and there's still 2 more ports where I could add extra audio monitors, but they're just hearing, when I'm running sports, they're just hearing the announcer voices. I have all the various chargers, charging ports. I can add extra cables to charge everything. I've got this microphone, which I'll plug into a camera.
So it wasn't our best meet, but it was pretty solid. We had a really good finish after a rough start, and that's what I'm really proud of the guys for, was 1 missed routine in the last 3 events. And we ended up 4/10 behind SoCal United.
Let's take a look here at one of my Panasonic cameras. So the audio is coming in, and then I picked up this little splitter, which takes my hot shoe and makes it into 2 cold shoes so that I can run this. This is really important. I like to keep this part facing the camera operator. It'll show their battery power. This light will illuminate if they're in the program feed. There, now it's in the program feed, so the camera operator knows that they're the live camera. I also will plug this into power with a power bank. So I'll put a power bank at the bottom of the tripod, run the cord up, it'll plug in, and then this can be charging while I'm using it. This is the setup, and it's really cool because you can just really quickly change between different camera shots, different camera angles. You can set up picture in a picture and have more than one thing showing at a time. And it's pretty intuitive, pretty easy to understand and learn how to do. And it's the system that I travel with anywhere in the country to do live broadcasting. So yeah, that's what's in my camera bag for live broadcasting. Hopefully you guys like this video. See you next time.